Welcome to Parenting Matters Now, a source of parenting advice a few minutes at a time.
How do you train your children to not fight? Hi, this is Dr. Roger Smith of Parenting Matters Now. Children fight over the smallest things, and oftentimes, if you have more than one child, they're continuously after one another and bickering and struggling over things and toys and places and where they're going to sit and every endless list of things. And so, can you train your children to not fight? And I will say, yes, you can. And there are ways to help your children to not fight. It's a difference than teaching them not to fight. Very similar, but there's a slight difference. So the mindset is, how can they not fight when they want to? First of all, you have to demonstrate that for them, is that you don't respond with intense emotion to every situation. You manage your life without an emotional approach. You control your own emotion, and you do not fight whenever you can manage something a different way. So we had a saying, use words, and we said it untold number of times because the children were using physical approach. And so we would interrupt them and say, stand here and you tell me what the conflict was. What happened that caused you to be fighting? And naturally, each person in the fight has a little bit different perspective, but the children said this was the most important thing we did for them in our home, is to teach them to communicate through conflict. And so we were very intentional. Whenever there was conflict, we stopped and one person got to speak first. And it was random, it seemed, as to who got to speak first, but the other person could not speak until we had finished getting information from the other. They got to hear, they were in the presence of the one, and we helped them. The first person to speak got to describe the situation, and then we could turn to the other one. What would you say that's different about what was described? How is it different? Is this true? Is this scenario true? Who started it, so to speak? What happened first? But then we would get beyond the what actually happened to, okay, you responded to your brother in this situation with these words. What did you want to happen? How do you think that made that person feel? And was that what you were wanting? Was that the desired end? Because they may have done something that incited a physical attack in reverse, but they really just wanted the object or whatever it was that they were fighting about. So we helped them analyze how it was that they were going about trying to solve the conflict, and invariably it was ineffective. So we were training our children to not fight physically, but to address the issue with words. And so in our home, that was the way that we had an approach, as we helped them learn to communicate what it was that they were feeling, what it was that they were wanting, and what was the desired goal of the whole scenario. And so sometimes they couldn't get exactly what they wanted, but there might be an alternative. And it was through these seemingly endless conflict resolution sessions that they began to learn, little by little, how to not physically fight, but to verbally work through an area of conflict. And that is a tremendous skill in this world, is to learn how to communicate through a time of conflict. So that was one of the ways that we taught our children to not fight, but to use words. And so the question is, when words are not enough, can your children rise to the occasion if they're called upon to be physically brave in a scenario? And we do want brave and strong children because they are the leaders of tomorrow. We want them to be brave, to be wise, to use their words effectively, but also to use their strength effectively, if that is the most effective means. So start with the little things, teaching your children to not fight. but use words. It's Dr. Roger Smith with Parenting Matters Now. If you find the advice here helpful, I encourage you to get my book, Parenting with Influence, by visiting rogersmithmd.com.
Subscribe to Parenting Matters Now for more advice, or go to rogersmithmd.com to search for more topics. See you next time.